Hi guys, my name's Collux, and I've decided to have another bash at putting some videos up on YouTube. So we're going to be playing Into the Breach. It's a newly released strategy turn-based game. So let's crack on into it. So to start off with, we've got the Rift Walkers, and we've got the combat mech here, who does a punch which is 2 damage and pushes back, has 3 health and 3 movement. Then we've got the cannon mech, which does a damage and pushes back with 3 health and 3 movement. And then we've got the artillery mech, which does a damage and pushes every square back around it, adjacent to the target, with 2 health and 3 movement. We've also got a time traveller, who's Ralph Carlson, and he gains +2 bonus experience for each kill. We're going to start on normal difficulty, and we've got a bunch of these achievements to do. We earn coins, so we can change the squad that we use each run. But anyway, I'm starting anew. I've played this quite a lot, so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to try and explain it as best I can. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's go. I've really enjoyed this game so far. It's been really amazing. So let's crack on to the Archive Inc. It's a museum island which recreates old Earth as it was before the oceans rose and nearly wiped out humanity. The environment is temperate. The CEO is Dewey Arms, and then we've got 4 different types of Vec and a leader. Let's go into this. Archive Inc. head office. The bad news is the Vec are overrunning our island, putting refugees and historical artifacts at risk. The good news is that we have old Earth military artifacts that can help with the fight. So let's crack on. So what you'll notice about the screen is we'll have the island all over here, right in the centre of the screen. We've got the corporate HQ, which we'll get to right at the end of the island. We have a remembrance point, which gives us a star and a thunderbolt, and they're the kind of the different kind of currencies, if you like. So the stars are the reputation that we can spend at the end of an island run. Then the thunderbolt is the power grid. If this reaches 0, we lose. However, we can use it to our advantage by, if we do take damage on it, it can be avoided with the grid defense. So we've got 15 grid defense at the moment. However, it can go up depending on the pilots we have, and if we overcharge our power grid. This is how many people we've saved over here, and this is really interesting. The reactor cores, and these are used to upgrade our mechs. So we'll go into the combat mech for the moment. So if we had an extra one of these power reactor cores, we could give him extra health or extra movement, but we don't have any of those at the moment, so we'll have a look at those later. So I've explained Remembrance Point. We also get air support with that one, and then we have the Research Centre that has tidal waves, and you get reputation and power for that one as well. What I like to do is I like to have a look around and see which ones I can do the best, but also which section opens up the rest of the map a little bit more, so I've got more choice in what I want to do. I'm thinking I go for the Research Centre, because ending with less than 4 mech damage is quite easy, and protecting the power generator is quite easy. However, that's quite good as well, but the tidal waves take up more of the map, and we've got a lot of ground-based enemies, and that'll come into play a little bit later. But let's have a look at the maps, because we can go into the maps like this, see what they're looking like, and then we can back out of them if we want to. So this is looking interesting. So we've got 3 Vec coming up here. These are the these three squares here are emerging vec, and we'll probably be deploying in this section of the map here. It's nice that the coal plant is on our side of the map. However, and most of the power actually is on our side of the map. We do get air support as well, so this might be a map that we come back to, but we're not going to be doing just yet, I don't think. This is the research centre. Yeah, this is really good. Okay, so we've got the research centre here. We'll probably be deploying about here, but we can try and kind of push our way towards this side of the map and push them that way into the tidal waves to give us a little bit of an easier time. Yeah, let's go with this mission to start with. Okay, so we've got 3 different types of vec here. We've got the Scorpion, which can move, as you can see there with the green highlighted, and he does only 1 damage, but he does web our mechs or buildings, which we'll come to later. Then we've got the Firefly, who has a little bit more health than usual, but he can't move very far. So they can both move about the same distance, really. And then this is a Soldier Scion, and this guy has flying, so he doesn't get destroyed by water, but he gives every other vec plus 1 HP. Now, if I put my guys down, which I will do here like this probably, you can see that we have a mountain next to us. A mountain means massive, which means you can walk through water, which is really useful because these guys don't have mountain, which means they get destroyed by water. So if you can push them up here into the water, that's really going to be very useful for us. I think we're going to start the mission there. I think I'm going to move this guy down here. So the deployment is actually quite important as well. So if you look at where these guys can go and where your guys can go, you'll notice that we need to be able to cover these squares, really, which I think we can do with the mechs that we have available to us. Yeah. Okay, so let's confirm. Let's carry on. It is telling us up here that there's an environment, and that's what the yellow squares are for. So they're active at the moment, but water will be there by the end of the turn. So start the mission like that, you see. So then now we've got some more tidal waves coming in. Should be quite easy to deal with. Should be quite easy to deal with, actually. Okay, so we can push. Yeah, as I said before, sorry, this Vex Scion is giving bonus, provides passive bonuses. So you can push this guy into here, which will mean this guy attacks him instead. But we probably don't want to do it with this guy. And we probably want to move this guy down here so we can push this guy up. I think. Yeah, so as you can see in the top right, we've got the bonus objectives: end with 4, less than 4 mech damage, and project the power generator. The power generator's here, and these are civilian buildings which represent our power grid. But there could be more civilian buildings than there are points in our power grid, but that's okay. Then we've got the tides, which are the highlighted in yellow, and then we've got the attack order, which can also be done by Alt. It tells us what's happening first. So the fire damage is happening first, but we don't have any fire at the moment. Then we've got the environment, so this happens next, and then the actions or the attacks happen. So this happens first, so he'll be damaging this, he'll be doing nothing, and he'll be damaging this as well. So actually what we might want to do is we might want to push this guy over here, push this guy out. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. Actually, we can do it here, and then we can kill this guy by moving this guy over here. I think that makes sense. Let's do that. So I'm pushing this guy over here, and he kills that guy, so they've got less health. I'll then do this to push this guy over here, and what this means is if there's an a unit on top of an emerging vec or a spawning vec, that means that it gets blocked, and the enemy or unit on top of it will take a damage, which is really useful. And if we do this, that means this guy takes a damage from this guy hitting him, and this guy takes a damage from the vec coming up. And then we've kind of boxed them into these 4 squares, which is really useful. So I'm going to end the turn there, see what happens. Okay, so the tidal waves happen first. He hits his friend. He hits nothing. Some vec come out. Oh, really interesting though that we've got a lot of web vec happening. But this guy's not doing any damage. Okay, sure. I think I can deal with that. So these guys need to go away pretty swiftly. What I can do is I can do this. That means that this guy takes 2 damage, because he takes 1 from our attack and then 1 for bashing into his friend, and then his friend takes a damage for getting bashed into as well. Or we could punch. Nah. This is a really tough decision because we don't have any mechs down here to do anything with. So let's think about this for a bit. So if I move this guy over here, I can deal 1 damage to this guy and he pushes in this way. That means then he can come round here and do 2 damage and 1 damage. Or even better, he can come over here and do the 1 damage like that. Yes, I think that's best. So we're going to do this, kills this guy, and then we're going to do this, which means this guy takes 2 damage and this guy takes 1 damage, and that guy can come round and finish them both off. Like so. And now we've got the vec spawning only in these things, and our cannon mech should be fine with the tidal wave because he's massive, so he doesn't take any damage from being in water, or doesn't die from being in water, more importantly. This is just letting us know that pushing units into objects deals both the things damage. Because we did that with enemies, the enemies both take damage instead of just one of them. So I'm going to end your turn, see what happens. Yeah, you see, this mech can't use his weapons while in water or can't repair, but he's still alive, which is very important for us. Let's see what we have. Okay, that's fine, and that's also fine. Great. So what I might do is, let's see where I can throw this guy. So I could do that, but that would deal me damage. However, I could do this, and that would deal both of them damage. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. So I do this, these 2 take damage, I do this, and those 2 take damage, and then he can go here and kill him off. Nothing's going to be targeted, and we've ended with less than 4 mech damage, and we've protected the power generator. I'll talk a little bit more about turns as well. Okay, so victory, which is really good. We've got a dude promoted as well, which is great. He's our more experienced fellow as well. So what we might want to do is we might want to switch our pilots around a bit, so all of our pilots can take some experience for themselves, which would be very useful. I'll continue. He's got +3 grid defense, so that's not even too important. So let's take this guy out, and let's put Ganymede in. Oops. Let's put Ganymede in the powerful man. There we go. So now we've got a choice of 3 places to go. We've got Remembrance Point, which I said again was quite easy. We've got Old Town. So because it only gives us one thing, we've got extra stuff on the map. So we've got these mines, which are the red things here, all around the map, and the Vec usually run into those pretty quickly. Actually, that's what I've experienced anyway. And we've also got shielding for the first time. So we've got shielding on our buildings, which is very useful because the shield means that they can take 1 attack. That could be of any damage, which is very useful for us. But we've also got the library, and we have to destroy the dam and block Vec spawning 3 times. So let's have a look at this. So that's quite a good one actually, because we've only got some grid power over here. The dam's there, and it really limits the Vec to do what they want to do. And we've got a lot of pushing attacks as well, so we could use some of these water tiles to our advantage. Although I think we should do this one. It also gives us 2 reputation, which is great for when we come to the buying right at the end of the island. So let's go with this one. Let's start the mission. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with this guy over here, and I'm going to try and keep this I'm going to try and keep the artillery mech in the back, and try and keep the cannon mech and the combat mech up front. Let's see what happens here then. So where are they going to attack? Okay, interesting. That kind of makes sense though, I suppose. So what I can do is I can move this guy over here, shoot this tile to make this guy jump over here and this guy jump over here. I can then shoot this tile to make him go over here. He'll block the Vec and he'll shoot his buddy, which is really useful for us. I can then claim one of our objectives by destroying the dam with the combat mech straight away. So I think I should do that. Oh, and because this guy blocks a Vec spawning point, it means that I block. This will be one time that I do this. So I need to do it another 2 times in 4 turns. Okay, so let's talk about the turn systems now. So this is the end of turn 4. So they get to start and tell me where they're shooting, and then I get to go over to them and take my shots and stuff straight away. It's still a pretty tough game, especially when you get into the later stuff. But anyway, let's shoot this thing. They move over there as I thought they would. I push this guy over here, and that means now he'll take a damage from the emerging Vec. He'll shoot this guy and put him on fire, which is very useful because that's reoccurring damage. And I can hit this, which blocks these guys in. So now all I need to do is jump my mechs up here and start kind of pushing around and dealing lots of damage. So he misses, let's have a look at the turn order, and he hits his friend and puts him on fire, which is great. Then we have 2 Vec come up. So these guys are land-based units, but this guy is not a land-based unit. He can fly. So what we want to do is we want to try and kill this guy as quickly as we can. But I don't think we can do that actually. Hold on. Let's have a look. So this guy can move wherever we want him to. So, but pushing these guys, this guy this way or this guy this way, is not important. We could push this guy into into the water, which would be great with this guy or this guy. In fact, actually, that's the only thing that this guy can do, because he can't even get to the Vex spawning point. However, we need to sort out 3 of these fellas, and this guy, only this guy can sort out. So I'm thinking that I need to just shoot here, just so he can not attack our buildings. Then I guess we probably need to shoot this guy. So we're probably going to be dealt 1 grid defense damage, but that's not so bad. That's not so bad because you know, it's only 1. It's not like we're going to lose at the moment because we've got 6, and we did grab 1 last time. So I think this makes sense. So we'll kill this guy, and then we'll shoot this guy also. But we're not blocking any Vec at the moment, which is a little annoying. So I could keep this guy around. Well, yeah, I think I probably will actually. I'll keep this guy around and kill him. So we're only dealing with 3 Vec now, which is really useful. And this is just to let us know that putting stuff in the water usually just instantly kills them unless they're massive. Dismiss that. So, okay, so what happens when Vec try to destroy the buildings is that we have the power grid, and that goes down 1 whenever they destroy a building. However, we do have grid defense, and we have an 18% chance. That's what this number means, of stopping that attack, of not taking damage. And so we've got the base grid defense of 15, and then you get +3 when a pilot has +3 grid defense, which is what we have on Rufus here. Well, when it's finished. Yep, we'll just wait. Yep, there we go. So this guy, yeah, it says his skills, +2 grid defense, and the experience bonus. So what we could do here is, I'm thinking we move this guy over here and kill this guy. But then we need to decide how to deal with these things, and that's going to be quite difficult because we don't really have that many tools at our disposal. So how do we do this then? I think because they're flying units, we're not able to deal that much damage to them. Can I... So I could stop one of them attacking and damage it. It'd have to be with this guy though. What should I do? So I could stop this attack from happening, or this attack from happening. But I can't stop both, and there's no point in putting damage onto them at the moment because of this guy being around. He gives them extra damage capacity. However, I can kill this guy, but I can't kill one of the other things. So I'm thinking I probably move one of these guys out. I think this is the best option I have. And then I move these 2 over here like this, and I'll kill this guy. So they've only got 2 health left, which is quite easy to kill usually with some of the other mech squadrons. But with this one, the damage output's okay, but the biggest damage is the combat mech with 2. And hopefully I'll be able to complete my bonus objective for blocking 3 times with blocking these 2 things. Then we'll only have 2 Vec to deal with. Okay, we'll have 1 less grid defense, 1 less power, but I think that's not so bad. We're going to end the turn. Yeah, he does have an action available, but I can't really do anything about it. In fact, could we have done something about it? No, because this is water and we aren't able to get onto a part there. Okay, that's fine. We just have to deal with taking some good defense, unfortunately. Our guy takes some fire damage as well because he's in a space with fire, and he stays on fire as well, which is not so great. So actually, we probably shouldn't keep him there. In fact, we want to repair this guy pretty swiftly. We can kill this guy though. We don't have to kill this guy. I think we should just do this. So he's not attacking anything, and he's dying, and then we repair this fella so he stays alive, and then repairing lets us repair 1 damage and remove fire, acid and ice, which is useful, but there are other things that are much better as repair options available to us at later points in the game, especially if we're able to pick them up. So I'm going to end the turn. This guy's not doing any damage. We've completed all our bonus objectives. It doesn't matter about the attack order, and this is the last turn of the game, so we'll see what happens here. There we go. Yeah, just as I suspected, just as you can see there. We put that attack aside. So we've got some really nice reputation flowing now. So we've got 3 reputation, and these guys are looking okay. I'd like them to get leveled up as quickly as I can, and I've saved some civilians, which is great. Yeah, it's just letting us know about the reputation. Okay, so we've got 2 new parts of the island to look at. So we've got the Accord Repository, which is defending the tanks, which is a really fun mission to do. I really enjoy doing those. And then we've got the Relic Preserves. This is defending the artillery support. Oh, I might be able to do both of these then. And protecting the clinic. Yeah, these are really fun to do. Okay, so defending the tanks. So these 2 things here are kind of old Earth tanks, or that's what's introduced to us in any case. Yeah, it says here. So when we arrive, we deploy, and then we have to defend for 2 turns, and then we get to use the tanks for 2 turns, which is great. With this one, we have a clinic and an artillery support. The artillery support is really quite powerful, but we need to keep it in the back, and it's really slow. However, it's basically an extra unit that you can use, which is quite fun actually. It's great to have an extra unit because it makes everything much easier. What I might do is I might do the tanks first. I really enjoy doing these missions because you just get extra units and they're slightly easier to do. So let's have a look at the start of the mission. So this guy is probably going to fly up here. So what I usually try and do with the start of the mission is having a look to see where the enemies can go, and finding out what they can do. So this guy's probably going to attack this tank here. This guy's probably going to attack either the tank or this, and this guy's probably just going to try and go round to stop things from happening. So I'll probably be putting those 2 there, and this guy in the back. So he can move 3, so he can get to this guy and push him over. And this guy isn't able to do so much actually, so we'll be a bit stuck if he goes here and he doesn't get through. So in fact, do I want to put one of my guys to the side a little? Where's this guy going again? Yeah, they can only really attack. So let's go here, because he can go down here and push around here. In fact, let's switch those 2 round. And then we've got... Yeah, let's do it like that. Because now what we can do is, if one of these guys comes up and tries to web any of us, we've got an extra guy to help out down here if we need to. And they can both get to here. Unless a Vec is blocking them, and if there is a Vec blocking them, then they're not going to be able to attack the tank very well. So let's confirm, see what happens, see where they move, see how they're attacking. This is a really interesting part for me. There we go, okay. So that's fine. He moves up there, that's okay. Perfect. We can do this. So this guy can move over here and shoot this guy over. This guy can then push this guy back, and so he'll be attacking his buddy, which will kill him. I can then probably kill this guy. Yeah, let's kill this guy. So I can do this. It pushes this tank this way. Remember, pushing doesn't do anything unless it's bashing into other things. So if I bash this guy into this, it would remove the power and a health bar from this character. However, because it's pushing from this character outwards, or from this tile outwards, that means this isn't taking any damage because there isn't a tile here. Which is great because that means the tank survived, and those are the things that we need to keep around. So let's punch this guy this way, and let's shoot this guy this way. Okay, it does mean that we'll be one Vec down, but we'll be bringing 2 Vec up. We need to push this guy into this space as quick as we can, and hopefully we'll be able to bring these guys back a little bit to help push around stuff. And these tanks kind of really help out with these. They've got the same colour scheme as well, so it kind of makes sense that they're in the same part of the team. Okay, so we've got some web characters, which is interesting. Alright. Interesting. Okay, so what I can do here is I can push this guy and kill this guy off. However, what I might want to do is I might want to shoot here, make everything move, sorry about that. But do I want to do that? So these two are attacking this guy, so I need to get rid of these 3 mechs, or get rid of these 3 Vec. So what I want to do is I want to move this guy here, shoot him, so he takes damage, shoot, so he takes the damage and goes over there. Or I could shoot here, that pushes this guy into the drink, pushes him back, but pushes him over here. Or just trying to see if we can get this guy out of the way. I think this tank might be lost then. Or I could go over here and push this guy. Go over here and push this guy. And then he can shoot here. Let's think about this for the moment. So we can push these guys around. So him coming here and pushing this guy out is great. However, we're not able to get to those two unless we do this. And that'll deal them both only 1 damage, and we'll take a damage as well, so there's no point in doing that. What we can do is we can push this guy back with this one, and we can move this guy here and push this guy this way with this guy, and then we can deal ourselves a damage and push him into the drink. Now let's have a look at the attack order, because this is really interesting. Okay, so that's not going to work very well because this guy attacks before this guy. If this guy attacked first, then it would be much easier because he would then die. Okay, so let's think about this a bit more. How are we going to do this? So I could go in and push this guy, or I could move. I could push this guy here and this guy here, and I can move in and push this guy here. I could push this guy here. Could I do that? Let's have a look. I'm not sure if I can. Well, let's give it a go. I think we should give it a go. I think this is the best plan we've got. So this guy goes into the drink, which is fine. He can move over here and hit this guy, and he can go back and push this guy. Perfect. So he takes the damage, which is fine, but we block 2 vet coming up, and we've only got we'll only have 2 vec around, which is great. That's a really good turn. Okay. I'm thankful that I was able to find that solution, because it can be quite difficult to find solutions in these cases. So these guys take damage, which is good, and he moves around, which is fine. Which is fine. Now we've got these guys, which is really useful. Now we've got these guys. Look, see? We've got 2 more tanks, which is amazing. So I can move this guy over here and shoot this guy. And then I can move this guy over here and shoot this guy. Now I can move this guy over here and shoot this guy. And he moves back, but that's fine because we want to keep them safe. And then let's move this guy here, which blocks this from moving around unless it's flying, and we'll repair him as well. And then we don't really need to do anything with this guy, so we'll just try and kind of move him out of the way a little bit. And we don't need to use his action either, so we'll end the turn there. We've only got 1 turn after this one. Oh, it can fly. Okay, but that's fine. That's not so bad. And these guys are going to be quite easy to take care of, I think. Okay. So what I can do is I can shoot this guy and then shoot this guy, and then I can shoot this guy and kill him. Sure, let's do that. So this takes a damage, and then he takes a damage from this, which kills him, and then I can push this guy over here and he can kill him, which is really useful. Great, no vec on the board, and we win after everything's happened, so yes. So that was a really useful turn. Really good position, I think, for our mechs to be in. And we get some more reputation, which is pretty darn good. No one died as well, which is great. We've got some good experience too. Okay, so I think we should do this one next. I don't think we need the power at the moment, and we can always buy power for the end of the island. So let's go with the relic preserves, see what happens here. Yeah, let's start the mission. Okay, so we need to be really careful because we have these guys which can run around and start webbing people. So actually we want to have someone in front here just so it doesn't attack our artillery guy. Who has the most movement? I think he should go over here, and we can actually put this guy up here as well. Who has the most movement? He's got 3. He's got 3. Okay, sure, that's fine. Let's go. So you see at the start of the mission, we've got this artillery coming. Oh, we got a pod. Cool. Okay, so pods are really interesting. Pods contains equipment, as it says here, from the future, or they could come with mech reactors, and they can come with pilots as well as weapons and such and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be really good fun. Actually, this is going to be really useful for us, especially for the end of this mission. Okay, so they move and thread this, they move and thread this. Oh, this is not so bad. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do this, and he does 2 damage to both of them, which is good. It's really good. So we can deal with those two quite nicely. There we go. And then I can deal the damage here. And then the turn. This seems like it's going to be a good mission at the moment. That's fine. That's fine. I want to come up here, so I can block the Vec and kill this guy. I can shoot this guy with this guy, and then I can shoot this guy and hit this guy as well. So let's shoot this guy with this mech, which lowers their health down. Hit this guy with this to kill this. And I can shoot this and move him over this way, so he's closer to the Vec here, and kill him. So we've got a clean slate at the moment, which is great. Only 3 turns left. It's looking really good at the moment in this mission. So I've got a flying mech, flying Vec, and a firefly. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So what I can do is I can go down here and push this guy in, and then I can hit this guy and push him here. Now I won't be able to do any damage to him over there, and he will be damaging this. So what I might want to do is I might want to stay on here and hit this guy into this guy again. So he takes 2 damage. Or do I? Let's think about this for a minute. I think I do move over here and do that. I then do this to kill the guy. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to move him more centrally, and then we're going to end the turn. We've already got 2 Vec coming up because we block a spawn point, which is really useful. Okay. So I think we can deal with this guy with this. How do we get the time pod? How do we get the time pod? Okay, so we can move him here and hit him twice. And then we can hit him here. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. Okay, cool. That's fine. There you go. Threat averted. We don't need to use the extra actions. So, completed that mission as well. Everything seems to be perfect. When you get an island, a perfect island, which means you haven't, pardon me, lost any bonus objectives, like we haven't after we've done the pod. I'll show you that. And we complete the mission afterwards where we have to protect HQ from the Vec. It's kind of a boss fight. We get an extra free thing, which is good. So let's have a look at this pod. So we get a reactor core. Okay, that's fine. That's really good. Oh, and we got a promoted guy as well, 2 HP. That's really useful. Okay, so seismic activity. These guys have, these regions have been lost, so we have to defend the corporate HQ. But what we're going to do first is we're going to have a look and try and find a use for this core. When we install it, it's not final, but when we come out of this menu system, then it is. So we need to find. I think it's probably best to be on this guy, actually, because we need more health on this guy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's install it here. Give him extra damage. Pardon me. Give him extra damage. Damage capacity. So he starts with 5 instead of 2. This guy starts with 5 because of the 2 extra mech HP that this guy's got, and this guy has the 3+ grid defense, which is good. So let's do this mission now. So we've got to destroy the Hornet leader, which is this thing, and it can be quite difficult actually to do, and we've got to protect the corporate tower, which is this. So let's start the mission here. So this guy, blimey. Okay, so this guy has lots of damage capacity. That's what, 7? That's going to be tough. And he's damaging 3 squares in front of him. Oh, that's going to be hard to deal with. And he's flying, and he's massive, and he's a hive leader, so that's why he's going to be really difficult to deal with. This guy we want to kill pretty quickly as well, don't we? Really. So let's do this, and we can use this backline to help us out as well if we need to. Or we could use this backline. This backline is probably much more beneficial. Let's use that. And we don't have any webbing characters, so it's easy just to kill one off and try and control this guy for the most part now. And then when we get some Vex spawning up, we'll have to deal with those a little bit later. Hopefully this will go really well, but we'll see what happens. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so what we can do is we can do this. We can push this guy here, and then we can use this guy to push him this way, so you don't have to deal with him. Then we can use this guy to kill this. I think that's what we need to do at the moment, because this guy's dealing so much damage. We have to deal with 2 extra guys now anyway, but these guys now have less health, which is very useful for us. Oh, we've got 4 turns to kill that Hornet. That's going to be really hard. Okay, so we don't have any web characters just yet. Only Hornets. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, lovely. So this is not going to be so great. What we can do is we can okay. I think this guy needs to come down here and kill this guy, because we don't want to lose any more of these. I would like to push this guy away so he's not dealing damage here. No, I don't. I want to deal damage here, to push this guy here. Yeah, that's a better idea. Do I want to move him? I'll move him 1 square. So then we can deal damage here, which is fine. He'll take damage from spawning Vec, and then we can do this. Where can he move to? He can move to nearly anywhere, I suppose. But that's not so bad. So we killed 2 guys, so we've only got 3 Vec to deal with next time. And it's all about controlling this guy and where he's going and what he's doing. And if we can, we put damage on him as well. But that's going to be tough because he's got a lot of HP. But he does take damage from the Vec spawning, which is good. So we only need to do really 2 attacks with this guy on him. Oh, Christ. Okay, this is going to be fun. So, I guess he's dealing with these things, so these two need to deal with him. Aye, aye, aye. Alright, so we can push this guy over here. Oh man. And then we'll have to push this guy out. But that means we're not dealing him any damage at all. Let's think about this. We can't shoot here because then he destroys the tower anyway, so that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense for this guy to come here because even though he'll deal the damage, we'll still take it here. What we could do is we could push him over here. Push him over here with this guy. But we'll still take 2 damage here. How much damage is he? He's only doing 1. Okay, so I think it makes sense to take the 1 damage on the chin onto the good defense with this fella, and then we can shoot this guy twice, and we'll block a Vec, and then we can kill this guy with him, or we can just run away from him. No, let's not. Let's shoot this guy first, and let's shoot this guy first. Oh, he'll have fire as well. That's really useful. Okay, that's fine. I'm just looking at how far this guy can move. He can't move very far, but he can get up to here to protect this. So this guy is protecting this half of the map really, and these guys are trying to deal with this threat. But we have to take 1 on the chin. It might defend itself actually, but we'll see what happens. Really unsure about whether. In fact, we don't need to deal with the boss anymore because he's on fire. He'll take extra damage each turn, so we don't need to worry about him at all, which is really useful. Okay, so I think we shoot this guy, puts him here, shoot him again, so he moves away, so he dies, and then we can move this guy up here and kill this guy. This guy dies after taking fire damage. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. So he takes the damage there, and now he'll die. I think this is good because he's going to die from fire damage straight away. He'll die from this, and I don't really care about this guy. Whew. That was a tough mission. That was a tough mission. The boss is quite strong here. Oh, and we got an achievement as well, Good Samaritan. So that means we've been able to collect 9 reputation, which is really useful. Okay, so since we saved it, we've got a promotion. We've got 2 extra reputation, so we've got 9 to spend, which is really good. We've saved some civilians as well, which is really good too. So we continue. Because he got promoted, we got some more grid defense, which is good. So 1 in 5 shots will be blocked. We got a perfect island because, as you can see, through the ones that we did, we don't have any bonus objectives that we didn't complete, which is good. Since we accomplished every archive mission, he wants to offer us a gift as thanks. So we get this lady here, which is unaffected by webbing and smoke, which is very useful actually. We could also take the Vulcan artillery, which is fire weapon on a range class mech, or we could take 2 grid power. I think we should take Camilla because we need some better pilots. I'm not saying that they're bad pilots that we have, but it would be very useful for us to not be stuck. And I think we probably put put her here. All we've got is, yeah, we want this. Yeah, I think so. So let's spend reputation. Okay, so what we can do is we have certain things that we can buy. So we have this thing which allows us to get an extra unit and pull things around, which is very useful. We've got the shock cannon, which does damage to 2 units that are together and pushes them apart. We've got the self-destruct sequence, which I don't really like the look of, but we do have a repair drop. Now that's interesting. Interesting. Whoa. So it kills things. Wow. Hey, that's really interesting actually. And I've got this as well. So I could run into a pack of enemies, kill things, and then heal up straight away afterwards on another mech. That's really interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we've got 9 reputation to spend, and we've also got access to reactors, reactor cores for upgrading our mechs, and grid power as well. I think we could take those 2 actually. 1, 2, that's 3. So what I want to look at also is where we can use the reactor cores. So we could use the reactor core to gain health, but we've already got the 2 mech health here. We could use it to gain movement, which is really strong. We could also use it to dash. Dashing is quite good, and it's part of our one of our achievements that we could do. What else do we have? So we could get extra movement here, which is okay, but we don't need it so much. And this guy's got evasion as well, which is really useful. And then we've got the Artemis artillery. So we do actually want some health here. So we want to get at least 1 core so we can upgrade the health. I want to try this so badly. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we've got those 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the self-destruct on here. Oops, self-destruct on here. It doesn't use any power. In fact, we're going to switch these 2 around. So if we do get into a spot of bother and we don't like this, then we're not destroying. So Ganymede and Elizabeth Huang are both non-unique pilots, let's say. I think we should put it on here actually. Nah, put it on here. So we've got Ralph Carlson and Camilla Vera. Both have kind of an extra ability, but Ganymede and Elizabeth don't. So they're slightly more expendable. I don't like saying more expendable because I don't like to use that kind of phrasing, but I'd prefer to have them die than other characters, I suppose. We're going to install this here. Ooh, instead of the health we could use building immune. That's really useful. Let's do that. Okay, so now we've got 3 reputation left. We could spend this reputation to get the grid power, which we did deplete over time. And I do tend to deplete grid power over time as well, which is not so cool. So yeah, let's do that. Let's grab 3 of those. In fact, what I could do is I could sell Elizabeth. But I'm not going to just yet because I like to have a 4th pilot around just in case one of them dies. So let's continue. We can leave the island. So that was the first island, and upon completing that I've unlocked the RST Corporation, which is this deserty island here. I'll press continue. So when you complete the first island, it unlocks the second island, which is this one. When you've completed both of those, it unlocks this one, and it unlocks a surprise as well, which is appears around here. If you've completed these 3 islands, it unlocks this one as well. But anyway, we'll get into that later. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Take care, bye.